Well, I and the Committee of 100 have the great honor of introducing our esteemed speaker today, Secretary of the Treasury, Hank Paulson. As we read the newspapers today, it seems we live in a really challenging world. There are headlines of diminishing natural resources, industrial pollution, severe trade imbalances. At the same time, though, we also see enormous opportunity around the world in terms of rising living standards, burgeoning world trade, industrial and technological breakthroughs. Now, whether our future is shaped more by these challenges or by these opportunities will very much depend on whether our leaders choose to pursue a course of short-term, narrow self-interest or more far-sighted global cooperation. Secretary Paulson is a leader who understands the power of partnering. He believes in a future of shared opportunity for all nations. He recognizes the interdependence of the world's economies, particularly that of the world's largest developed economy, the US, and the world's largest developing economy, China. Together, these two countries comprised over half of the growth in the world last year. And yet, both nations face economies that are in process of transition. Secretary Paulson also understands the common values of family, hard work, and entrepreneurship, fundamental to both Chinese and Americans, which have so underpinned the success of both economies. But most importantly, Secretary Paulson understands the potential for these two great nations to work together to forge a great economic future for their own people as well as for the people of the world. He appreciates that the ability of the US and China to work together cooperatively will help bring the entire world to a fair, open marketplace for all. Secretary Paulson believes in a world that can win-win, an American phrase adopted by the Chinese, and in a phrase popular with Americans, he wants to get it right between the US and China. Secretary Paulson, the members of the Committee of 100, who are all American citizens of Chinese descent, share this wonderful ambition with you. As we build bridges between the US and China, we know that we are all also building a foundation for a more promising world for all. Today, we are so grateful to you, Secretary, for taking the time to address us. You have many, many friends in the audience today, and we all warmly welcome you and your wife, Wendy. We are so pleased to have both of you with us today. Secretary Paulson.
Lulu, thank you very, very much, and thank you all. I understand from Lulu that there's a big Wellesley group here, and as someone who had a grandmother, a mother, a sister, and a wife from Wellesley, I can say I've been to Wellesley almost as many times as I've been to China. Now, let me say it's particularly great for me to see so many friends here, so I thank you all for coming. I'm especially grateful to the Committee of 100 for your ongoing efforts, and these have been going on for some time, to strengthen one of our country's most important international relationships, because so much of this has to do with people-to-people connections. You're doing a great job, and I'm proud to be here. Now, I know you all have close connections to China. Many of you have spent a great deal of time there. You know China well, and a number of you have provided me with timely advice, for which I'm very grateful. We share not only a common interest, as Lulu has said, in building a strong, constructive relationship between the U.S. and China, but we share great appreciation and respect for China. It is a growing, vibrant, beautiful country which has undergone astounding changes over the last 15 years. And again, as Lulu has said, our relationship with China is multifaceted. And our economic relationship is a very important part of that overall relationship, and one that benefits both of our nations. As you know, we run a big trade deficit with China, but our exports to China are growing rapidly and should continue to do so for the foreseeable future. We welcome China's growth and integration into the world economy. It benefits the Chinese people and the people of the world. China is transitioning from a planned economy to a market-driven economy, and there's no doubt that this process will continue for a number of years. But because of its size and its role in world markets, China is already a global economic leader and deserves to be recognized as a leader. And with leadership comes responsibility. Decisions about the pace and shape of China's economic reforms, as well as policies relating to energy and the environment, affect nations here and around the world. As our relationship with China grows and matures, tensions will naturally emerge. In fact, you can make a good case that there wasn't much tension in our relationship in the 1980s because there wasn't much trade. Today, with U.S.-China trade expanding rapidly, there is a clear sense of frustration with China in political circles and in a number of industries throughout America. Many Americans question whether the benefits of our growing trade relationship are evenly distributed. But let me also say, certain things that we say and do cause great frustrations in China. When disagreements arise, it is important to discuss them candidly, find ways to bridge the differences, and make progress so that both countries benefit. Getting the U.S.-China relationship right, as Lulu said, includes implementing the reforms that it includes China implementing the reforms that it is committed to do, and doing so in a timeline consistent with its place in the global economy. And that's absolutely essential, in my judgment, to China's future economic growth and stability. And China's growth and stability is a vital issue for all nations. Now, let me say a few words about the U.S.-China strategic economic dialogue. Given the importance of our relationship with China, President Bush and President Hu established the Strategic Economic Dialogue, which is focused on the effective framework for addressing issues of mutual concern. The SED allows each country to speak with one voice, avoiding the stovepiping that had characterized so many of our discussions in the past. Our first SED was held in Beijing in December, and the second meeting will be held next month in Washington. The SED is focused on long-term goals. We are very much focused on the long-term relationship and long-term structural reforms, while simultaneously working toward near-term agreements that build confidence on both sides and show progress toward our long-term goals. We and our Chinese counterparts are looking for tangible results.